I can literally lose hours in thought where I haven't done anything. I haven't necessarily felt the feelings that need to be felt, right? But I've just lost all of this time thinking about something. Sometimes it is the planning. Sometimes it's like, well, I want to do all of these things. And so I'm thinking about them. And I'm better about it today than I used to be. But I used to get in trouble because I would think about something so much that I could convince myself I did it, even though I didn't actually do it. So there's like strengths and there's like amazing things, but there's also this like if you overutilize that center, there it can create gaps and weaknesses and like stuff like that. I don't know. I think the feeling center, and you can speak to that more because you're in the feeling center, but the feeling center has a similar kind of pattern that happens with them as thinking. It's a little different than action, we'll get to
Like
action, but
flipped.
feeling yeah, where it's flipped, where it's like the feelings are so big and there's so much happening sort of emotionally and physically in how they feel that they lose themselves in those feelings. And I know we've talked about that with 4s in particular, so 2s, 3s, and 4s sit in the feeling triad, or the
Mm,
heart triad, or the shame triad, take your pick.
hmm.
But, like, all of those, it's a similar idea to the thinking, like, I get lost in thought, partially due to that being a protection mechanism from being a kid. The feeling center gets lost in the feelings. It's just
Yeah.
like a flipped thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2, 3, and 4 are in the feeling center, if I'm remembering
Yeah.
correctly.
Yes.
I think the biggest things that I'm solving for with that feeling center, usually I'm solving for worth. It's like usually worth, image, identity, those three things kind of like come up depending what I'm experiencing. So I would say like when I am in my growth line of 4, even when I'm using that center, I can feel like I'm like trying to get in touch or solving for like the identity piece of it. Like, who am I? Where did this come from? Right? To your point, the feelings then become the thought. It's like this really murky, and if I spend too much time in one feeling, even though something could be like completely 8 dimensions deep, right? There could be 8 different feelings that I've associated with something that happened. And if I spend too much time in one, it's to your point, like that's gotten me in trouble before because I read a certain situation based off of a feeling and I'm like, that's how it happened. And
Right.
then a person who was next to me the entire time will articulate it completely differently. So that happened more like prior to I would say my work with Brandon or like any growth work that I've done because now I'm aware of what I'm trying to solve for in terms of worth and how that ties in with some of those feelings. But it can be this really difficult thing to convince yourself otherwise because you spent so much time in it that you are convinced like that was the feeling I had because this was the interpretation of that event.
Therefore it is true.
Therefore it is true. Even with my husband, like I will die on a hill of like, no, like you said this thing and this is what you meant. And he'll be like, I can't, like, I'm telling you, I'm the one who said the thing and that's not what I meant.
I think again, if just making the like parallel thing with the thought
Mm,
and the feeling triad, right?
yeah.
Thinking it's like I think therefore I am, and feeling it's I feel therefore I am, and I have heard 4s actually say I am my feeling. I feel this, therefore I am this. It's like,
Mhm.
well, but maybe not. It's the same story of like, don't believe, for me, it's don't believe everything you think. And in the case of in the feeling center, it could be don't believe everything you feel,
Right.
which is like a hard thing. That's like a hard,
Well, it's a hard thing because that's how
yeah.
you've protected yourself for most of
y-
your life. So if because what I'm struggling, as a 2, I struggle with shame and self-worth. Those are the 2 things that I struggle with, and the way that I reinforce that fear is sometimes through, like, really unhealthy overuse of my feeling center, because it's easy. That's what comes, like, most readily available. Even if my house is in shambles, right? The shame associated with that is, like, astronomical. It's completely irrational. In the moment, it is very real. Of, like, my house is a disaster, how, like, everything's a disaster, I feel chaotic, I feel, spin cycle, therefore I am chaotic,
Right.
therefore I am not organized, therefore I am a bad mom, therefore I am whatever, right?